I agree with a lot of what you're saying there, but really, I think what this comes down to is sexism. Because if you look at Hillary and if you look at Kamala Harris, in terms of their credentials, if it was a white dude, slam dunk. They're elected president. A old decrepit Joe Biden cleaned Trump's clock back into 2020. So I think at the end of the day, there's just enough of the electorate who's not comfortable with a woman in office. And I think that's what it comes down
I
to.
don't. I have a hard. I don't know. Um, I'll put it this way: if America can elect a black man as president, they can surely elect a woman. I don't think it's about gender. Um, I think it's about the individuals. And let's look at three of the individuals that have, well, four.
Okay.
You had, of course, Hillary Clinton. You had Kamala Harris. You had what was the white girl? What was the white girl?
Jill Stein?
Huh?
Jill Stein?
Nah. She never had a fucking chance. The other,
There was another one?
yeah, that what was it? Like
Oh, Elizabeth Warren?
Elizabeth Warren,
Yeah.
and then you had Shirley Chisholm that ran for president,
Yeah.
I believe. So the thing is that people, well, people who are going to vote for somebody, they need to see those qualities that men have, and that's what it comes down to. It, what men have, and guess what? If a woman shows too much of that,
Mm-hmm.
it's bad. If she doesn't show enough of that,
enough of that, then it's still bad.
it's still bad. She got to be somewhere, like she got to be in the sweet spot, baby.
Right.
That you ever meet a woman that I ain't fucking around with this bitch. It's gonna be bad.
Right.
That's
it's gonna be problems.
Yeah. That's how they gotta be.
How you doing?
Yeah, that's how they gotta be.
Yeah, you have a nice evening.
Yeah, that's how they gotta be.
Right.
Like I ain't fucking with her.
Right.
How you doing, ma'am? Yes, ma'am. No, ma'am.
Mm-hmm.
And keep it pushing.
Right. So like moving forward, how do we get out of this mess?
The way we get out of this mess is that we have to go through this mess.
Okay.
And hopefully we come on the other side, more informed. I can't say better. I just hope.
Well, here's the thing. It's just like people were informed, but because people were so divided, and then you have so many outside influences, I guess in the mix. I mean, everybody's entitled to make their own choices and their own decisions. But
yeah, ask yourself: are people really informed? Are people actually sitting down and having these conversations or conversations at all? No, we're on our fucking phones. Mm-hmm. We're getting snippets from Fox News, MSNBC, CNN.
Legacy networks, as they call them.
Yeah, we don't read anymore. Look, I read as much as I can from all sides, not just what I believe,
Sure.
just to get an overall view on, what's going on.
The
You
truth is
know,
somewhere in the middle, or at least
yeah, somewhere
aspects of the truth is somewhere in the middle.
it has to be, and we all know deep down, all of us as humans, and as no, all of us as humans and mammals, we all know what's right and wrong because you know when you did wrong because you just feel bad. Nobody
Yeah.
had to tell you nothing. You
Hmm.
just that just didn't feel right.
Right.
You
Or you're
know,
hiding. You're
yeah,
hiding.
yeah, or when you do something good, you it's like a dopamine, hit,
Mhm.
bang, So it, that's the way we're gonna get through it. You know, you got to go through the bad. You got to swim through some shit to get clean,
Yeah.
and we're gonna swim through a lot of shit to get clean.
Yep.
And we swimming through it right now because none of these motherfuckers can pass a FBI
A smell test.
FBI background
Right.
investigation. All these motherfuckers corrupt.
Yeah. So, I think first, I mean, like, one of the first things that's going to have to happen eventually, if there's any hope of, saving our democracy, our country, if you want, is you got to get the dark money out of politics. You have to.
Um, we'll see. You know how you know uh, how long did the Roman Empire last?
Which one? I mean, because of course you have the, one back, that started before the time of Christ,
Well,
and
well,
then
what was the average? Okay, maybe I phrased that wrong. What was the average age of the Roman Empire's lasting?
uh, that's something I have to look up.
I think it
Uh,
was about 250 years.
okay.
Don't quote me on that shit.
Oh, that's okay. I got time to research on. I'm just going
Yeah,
to flash it on the screen
I'm
and
probably pulling that
post.
shit out my ass.
That's quite all
You know,
right. That's what we
you
do
know.
sometimes.
But I think America's like rolling up on that magical number.
Hmm.
But I don't know.
Right.
Like I said, I'm just pulling shit out my ass at this point.
That's quite all
But I'm
right.
gonna give you a fun fact.
Okay, what's the fun fact? What you got, cuz?
The fun fact is that in the 1950s, a bomber, a nuclear bomber, was flying over the state of between North Carolina and Georgia or some shit like that.
Hmm.
They released the bomb, or the plane crashed, or something like that.
Hmm.
They lost the fucking nuclear weapon. That's the point of it. And nobody's ever found that shit. So somewhere between North Carolina and Georgia,
There's a
if you
nuke.
motherfuckers want to find a nuclear weapon, that's where it's at.
Oh.
I'm serious.
No,
Look it
I
up.
was saying, oh, no. I was like, oh.
I don't know how these motherfuckers never went out and fucking scoured the earth to find that fucking bomb. But guess what? It's a live nuclear warhead out there. Just
Sitting off the
fucking,
coast.
yeah, just chilling.
Out there in
Wait for
Shipwreck
somebody to
Alley.
find it. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. It's a wild moment. So that's right. When y'all think y'all sleeping safe at night, don't work. Don't worry about that asteroid. That they're saying it's going to hit in 2020 or 2032.
Apophis or something like that?
Yeah. Worry about that fucking nuclear bomb they can't find. Shit. They ain't been telling your ass about.